Yo, what is going on guys? My name is TheJackSilkstone. So, some of you may remember a few months ago I made a video where I essentially rated my favourite UK theme park rides into a tiered list. I'm gonna put it into the D tier. I can just feel all of the dislikes being pushed. I'm sorry guys, I think that is now my most disliked video ever, so that's a bit of a yikes. But yeah, today I'm gonna be doing that same kind of video but with Thorpe Park Fright Nights past horror mazes.
Lights, camera, action.
So as you can see on screen right now, we have my tiered list where over here, this is where I'm going to be ranking all of the mazes. And then just below me down there, we have all of the mazes I'm going to be ranking in today's video. So just quickly, in case you haven't seen the previous video or you don't really know what's going on, A is obviously the best, down to F being the worst maze that like Thorpe have ever done. But I have also got the God tier, which is above A. It's like the best of the best. And just before we do start, I need to quickly explain how I'm going to be ranking these mazes, because obviously some of these mazes have been at the park for a good few years. I'm going to be ranking them on their overall time at the park. So with Big Top, for example, it wasn't great in the first year, but then it got to be an amazing maze. So I'm going to kind of account for the whole thing. I'm not just going to put it straight into God tier because of its glory years, we'll call it. I'm going to consider like the not so good years of a maze. So yeah, just need to clear that up before we start. And yeah, we're just going to jump straight into it. I don't really know where to start. Let's just pick one. Let's pick My Bloody Valentine. So this was a maze that hasn't been at the park now for quite a few years. It obviously came with the whole Lionsgate takeover, and it was a very, very scary maze. So scary, in fact, that I didn't even do it in its first year, I think. I was too scared. So it took me a few years to pluck up the courage to do it. But when I eventually did do it, it was a very, very strong maze, and definitely one of my favorites that's ever been at the park. So, in my opinion, I'm going to put it into the B tier. Not quite like legendary enough to be an A, and definitely not God tier, but it was an incredible maze and was very, very scary. So we're going to pop that into the B tier. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is Containment, which isn't even technically a maze. It is a paid extra escape room. It's been at the park once again for quite a few years now. It is a really, really strong experience. However, due to the way that I said I am ranking this, I'm kind of taking it as an overall kind of like literal thing. You do have to pay for it, which in my opinion is a bit of a yikes. I completely understand why you pay for it, but purely because you have to pay for it, I don't do it very often. And for that reason, I can't rank it too highly just because I haven't experienced it enough to like properly get some amazing run-throughs. So I'm going to put it into the D tier. I don't think it necessarily deserves to be that low, but as I said, due to the way I'm ranking this, I can't really put it too much higher. But yeah, I do really enjoy Containment, and I'm looking forward to doing it this year. Next up, we are going to go for Saw Alive, which nearly beat Asylum to be the longest reigning maze at the park. If only it had come back this year. But yeah, obviously it's not going to be at Fright Nights this year. That's a bit mad. But yeah, Saw Alive is a fantastic maze. It's just one of the classics to be at Thorpe Park. Even so, I'm stuck between B and C. I am going to put it into C. I'm going to have to be a bit harsh with it. It's a fantastic maze, as I said, but it's never been one to like blow me away. You know, if you know what I mean. Whereas My Bloody Valentine was like scary. That was a very scary maze. So I don't think I can quite put Saw Alive into the B tier. So it's gonna have to stay down there in the C tier. Next up, we are going to take a look at the Walking Dead Living Nightmare. This is a very, very strong maze in my opinion. However, I am going to have to take its past into consideration because it has gone through so many changes. Obviously there was Living Nightmare Extreme, which I would have to say would be God tier. A or God tier on its own. But there have been stages where Living Nightmare has just been quite a weak maze, and it is getting on a bit now. Like at this Fright Night is probably my least anticipated maze this year, so taking all of that into consideration, I think we're gonna have to put it in B tier. As I said, if it was just Living Nightmare Extreme, it'll be straight at the top, one of the top two, but it's kind of getting on a bit, and yeah, we're gonna put it into the B tier. Next up, we are going to take a look at Studio 13. This was a maze that was only at the park for 1 year. However, it was a fantastic maze in that year, in my opinion. And fun fact, it was my first ever horror maze, and I might be being biased here, but that means a lot to me. Like, I was so scared going in there. And for that reason, I'm going to put Studio 13 into the A tier. As I said, this is a completely personal list. Like, you guys will probably disagree with what I'm saying. But for me, Studio 13 is an A tier maze. Very, very scary, beautifully themed, and I love films. So like, just the theme of a film studio, like, it was so sick. So yeah, into the A tier with Studio 13. Next up, we are going to take a look at the Blair Witch. Now, I have to be quite careful with this one because Sophie Foster is literally in that room over there.
Don't you dare!
So, can't slag it off too much. But no, Blair Witch last year in particular was a fantastic maze, and if I was just basing it off that, it would be very high up in my list. However, we have to take a look at the past of Blair Witch, and obviously in its first few years, it was literally just a blank path with like actors jumping out trees. So for that reason, I can't rate it too highly. We are going to put it into the D tier. As I said, if it was just last year, it would have been higher, and this year I'm really excited for Blair Witch because it seems like they've done a lot to it. So hopefully after this year, that maze will be a lot higher, but I'm going to have to consider a slightly rocky past and put it into the D tier. Next up, we're going to take a look at Sanctum. Obviously, this maze was also only at the park for 1 year. It was kind of rebranded into The Walking Dead Do or Die. But Sanctum was at the park, obviously located over by the Swarm, the only maze to ever be located over there. It wasn't a great maze, was it? It was fun for what it was. And I did have some really good run-throughs, but I do think it is one of the weaker mazes, so I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put it into E. The cast did a fantastic job in there. Like, they always tried to make it as scary as possible, but there was just something about Sanctum that didn't quite click with me. So yeah, we're gonna put that into the E tier. Next up, we are gonna go onto Vulcan Peak, another maze that has only been at the park for 1 year. I was low-key hoping it would return this year, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people hate Vulcan Peak, but at the end of the day, was it that bad? As Fright Night 2018 went on, I have to say it really did improve. It did end up being a B tier maze. Next up, we are gonna take a look at the Cabin in the Woods. A very strong maze in my opinion. I have so many good memories in Cabin, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna put it into the God tier. As I said, this is a very personal list, and yeah, I think Cabin deserves to be in my God tier. I love that maze so much. Like, you started off with like free flow, and then you went into a linear route where these actors were literally just climbing on top of you. I bloody love Cabin. God tier maze, fantastic. Next up, we have Dead Creek Woods, another maze that was only at the park for 1 year, Fright Night 2018. It it was a very, very strong maze. However, it didn't really give that wow factor, and the fact that it was based like on the same route as where Zombie Hunt was, there was nothing really like particularly unique about it. I like the logo. The logo is very cool. But yeah, I'm gonna have to put it into the D tier. I think the actors were great in there. The little chainsaw bit was great, but it was very hit and miss. Like, you were never guaranteed a chainsaw. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it into the D tier. Next up, we have Platform 15. Now, this is a maze that's been at the park for quite a few years as well now, and it has gone through many, many changes. Obviously, in its first year, it really wasn't great. The whole village section was non-existent. It was literally just a path. So just judging off the first year, it would be down here. However, Thorpe Park have improved it every single year since then, to the point where I'd say it is now a B tier maze. Like, it's very strong. One of the funnest mazes on park, like just going through that black tunnel. It's so scary, but it's so funny like at the same time. So I'm gonna put it into the B tier, and hopefully after this year, I'm hearing good things from Platform, so it could even be pushed up to an A tier after this year. Next up, we have the Big Top, one of the most iconic mazes to ever be at the Thorpe Park Resort. I'm really struggling with this one. Obviously it's gonna be up high, even though once again it didn't have a great first year. The first year the Big Top was actually located on the beach, and it was separated into kind of 3 tents. However, the 2 years after that, it was then moved to where the Walking Dead Do or Die is now, where Bountzilla was, and it was literally one of the best mazes to ever be at the park. I'm really struggling between A and God tier. I think I'm gonna put it into A tier, just because Cabin is just so special to me. Like, I don't think Big Top was quite on that level, but I almost want to just leave it between the two. Is that allowed? I don't know. We'll just put it into A, but it's very, very nearly in God tier. Maybe if it comes back and it is like incredible, then it will be able to sneak up to God tier. But I really want to. I'm just gonna leave it there. But yeah, Big Top is a phenomenal maze, and I hope one day it comes back to the park. And that does leave us with The Walking Dead Do or Die. This has only been at the park for 1 year at the moment. It is returning for this year's Fright Night, so but just basing it off of last year's event, it was a very strong maze in my opinion. I think it was probably my favourite maze at last year's event. But it wasn't anything amazing. I'm gonna put it into the C tier. But from what I'm hearing and seeing, it does look like it's gonna return even stronger this year. So hopefully that will be able to be bumped up after this year's event. But yeah, for now we're gonna put it into the C tier. So yeah, that is my current Thorpe Park Fright Nights maze listing. You may notice there's still one maze remaining, and that is Creek Massacre. Obviously I haven't even been in it yet, so I'm not going to be able to rate it, but they are claiming it is the most intense maze. So after this year's Fright Nights, will I be putting Creek Massacre in the God tier? I really hope so. I hope it is an incredible maze, and if you guys would like to see my very first reaction from it, as well as footage from within the maze, then be sure to subscribe to this channel, because I will be having videos out by this time next week inside Creek Massacre. That is very, very exciting. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Please let me know what your tier list would look like. What would you be putting in God tier? What would you be putting at the very bottom? I didn't actually... Oh, I forgot. I was joking with Vulcan Peak. Thank God I remembered that. Otherwise I would have left it there. Yeah, I am joking. It was an F tier maze. Jeez, I nearly forgot about that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Be sure to leave a thumbs up on this video if you did enjoy it, as it really helps out the channel. And be sure to subscribe for a ton more Fright Nights content coming out over the next few weeks. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. My name is TheJackSilkstone. Good. Bye.